What's up guys, Andrew Bainey here, and on today's video we are taking a look at the brand new for 2020 baritone offering from Squier by Fender, of course. So as with all of my gear demos, I'm first going to show you guys what this guitar sounds like in a full demo mix, and then we're going to talk about the specs, what I think about it. So first and foremost, this is how this guitar sounds in a full demo mix, like this. Okay, now that I've shown you guys how this guitar sounds in a full demo mix, we are going to talk about the specs of this instrument and my thoughts on it. So, obviously the most important thing to note about this guitar is that it is a baritone guitar, which of course means that it has an extended scale length. In this guitar's case, it is a 27-inch scale length. Now, I'm sure you guys know this already if you're watching this video, but Squier released a baritone Jazzmaster that I have as well a couple of years back and then discontinued it, and those guitars are now extremely rare and sought after. So this is Squier's newest baritone model, so maybe it might fill the void for some of you who can't get your hands on a Jazzmaster and don't mind the shorter baritone length. Of course, the Jazzmaster is 30 inches and this one is 27 inches. But yeah, that's definitely the most important feature of this guitar that will make people want it. So in my demo, I was tuned down to drop G with the stock strings, which I believe are 14 to 68. Apparently it was supposed to come in B standard or A standard, but I thought the strings were way too thick for that personally. I like having a little bit looser of a string, so I thought it sounded great in drop G personally. So other than the scale length, let's talk about what else is up with this instrument. First and foremost, it has a poplar body with a gloss black finish. Nothing too crazy to look at, but it still looks really nice. It has a really weird pickguard that you don't typically see on Squiers, or sorry, not on Squiers, but on Telecasters. I'm used to seeing like the whole pickguard, but this is kind of cool as well. In addition to that, it of course has a maple neck and a laurel fretboard. Again, that 27-inch scale length. It only has 22 frets, however, not 24. So if you're a shredder, you're going to be missing those last two frets rather. So make note of that if that matters to you. In addition to that, it has a bone nut and then some standard Squier hardware on the, tuners and bridge. Nothing too fancy there. Seems to work okay. Doesn't go out of tune too easily, and there's plenty of intonation room on the bridge. Again, I have this in drop G, and there's tons of room left on these screws to pull it back way farther if I needed to. In addition to that, it also has single coil pickups. Once again, I was going to call these P90s, but just like the Jazzmaster, which also doesn't have P90s, apparently these aren't either. There's some new pickup designed by Fender, which are called the Fender designed Alnico Soap Bar single coil pickups. So apparently not P90s, that's what's in there. And as for controls, it's pretty basic: volume, tone, three-way toggle switch, and that's pretty much all there is to this guitar. Okay, so now that I've told you guys all the specs of the guitar, I'm gonna tell you guys what I think about it. So I think this guitar is pretty good as well. I personally prefer the Baritone Jazzmaster a little bit more for a couple reasons that I'll get into. But with that being said, there's not really anything about this that I don't like. If I'm being super nitpicky, the only thing that really bothers me is actually the toggle switch, because it feels super loose or something. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you just like barely touch it, it switches, and it's kind of hard to like get it to go where you want it to go. It just feels like loose and like floaty or something like that. Kind of bothers me. But also, I'm pretty much only using this pickup always, and I don't really use the switch anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter in my case. But something to note, if you're doing a lot of flicking back and forth, it might be hard to get where you want to go and not accidentally switch to a pickup position that you don't want to be in. Other than that, the construction and quality of this feels pretty good. I know Squier, for some people, they think it's kind of like a meme of an instrument because they're cheap guitars, but really they honestly deliver pretty amazing quality stuff for the price. This one retails at $550 Canadian, which I'm pretty sure is like 400 or 450 USD. I'll put it on the screen right now just to double check. But yeah, so you know, not that expensive of a guitar at all. So it's definitely in the like beginner price range of the low 500s or high 400s, depending where you are. But with that being said, everything about it other than that toggle switch thing feels really solid. Like I said, there's tons of room for intonation on the bridge, so setting it up shouldn't be too big of a deal. Squier pretty much consistently delivers a pretty great product for the price that, in my opinion, kind of punches above its weight. Because, you know, I've played some like Ibanez's that are around this price range that definitely don't feel as good as this. So do with that information what you will. So going back to what I was saying before about why I prefer the Baritone Jazzmaster, the Baritone Jazzmaster is a 30-inch scale and this one is 27 inches. So of course the Baritone Jazzmaster is 3 inches longer, which is really the main reason why I prefer it. In addition to, I just personally like the Jazzmaster shape over the Telecaster. But again, if you're not tuning ridiculously low, you really don't need 30 inches. For reference, 27 inches is the same scale length as all of my 8-string guitars except for one. It's a very standard scale length that an 8-string guitar will be in. So if you want to tune to like drop E or low tunings like that, you can definitely do that no problem, except obviously you just wouldn't have the high 2 strings. But with that being said, if you guys know me at all, I like tuning even lower than E, so the Baritone Jazzmaster is my preference because you can get it down to like a low C sharp, which is stupidly heavy and unnecessary, but I personally love that. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys want to learn more about this guitar or any of the other gear that I use, you can find a link in the description as well as the pinned comment where you can find more information about all of that. I also want to let you guys know if you want audio downloads, stems, or a shout out on the screen like these people here, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page, which is also linked in the description below. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters. This channel would not be nearly as successful without you, so you have my eternal gratitude for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's pretty much all I have to say. Again, go look up this guitar if you're interested in baritones at all and want something immediate that's pretty available still before it potentially goes extinct. Go check this out, Baritone Cabronita Telecaster. It's pretty cool stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.